So we talked a little bit about the real estate market earlier today. We talk about it just about every day we're on the air. And today is no different, but today is slightly unique because the cover of the Seattle Times once again graced, I guess real estate once again graced the front page of the Seattle Times. And, really talked about the people who are out trying to buy houses, not finding the homes they want, not finding the inventory, or not being able to have the choices they want. Shawn Perry joins us with Windermere Real Estate North, and, welcome back. How are you?
Thanks. I'm doing great. How are you?
I'm excellent, and, you provide a service which is a little bit unique in that, most of your business is derived from referrals. There's a lot of people get business a lot of different ways. You really do focus on those individual clients, and individual clients have, I guess, individual needs, especially in a market like this, huh?
Yeah, that's right. That's each new client is a different story, that's what I like about the job, to be honest with you.
Yeah, and we were just talking, about the amount of some people who are a lot of potential buyers who are coming into a market, and I mean they're kind of burning out. I mean they maybe are losing out on homes. They see prices going up. They don't have the flexibility they want. Are you seeing that?
Continues from the last time I was on the show with especially the lower end of the price range of the market around here. The buyers getting into a lot of multiple offer situations, maybe losing out on half dozen houses before they actually are able to pick up the one that they end up getting. But yeah, it's challenging.
So
that's frustrating. That's got to be frustrating.
The emotional roller coaster that we were just talking about of getting all excited about buying a house and getting ready to go, and you make your offer, and then somebody comes in with cash that can close in a week, and
yeah,
and so you have to start at ground zero again.
Because I think anybody, even if you're looking at houses online and you're not even considering moving, you mentally move into these houses.
Sure.
You imagine your days. It's kind of like what stagers do. When they go and stage a house, they're trying to get people to imagine living there.
Right.
And so, as you said, people go and commit. I mean, they're committing.
Right.
When they sign these contracts.
Right. As a good real estate consultant, it's kind of my job to see the look in your eye that you're ready for that house. I always tell people if you don't feel it, then if you feel like you have to think about it, it's not the right one. Because there's going to be one where as soon as you walk up to it, you kind of go, this is it. This is the one that I want.
I feel like that's good advice for anything almost.
A lot of times.
So what are some, we talked about everybody kind of has different ideas or a different mission in what they're trying to accomplish with buying their house. It could be their first home. It could be an investment, second home. But there's this concept of move-down buyers. What is that exactly?
Move-down buyer is somebody that is maybe an empty nester, somebody where the kids just moved out to college, somebody that might be getting ready to retire, maybe just somebody that wants to simplify. They're in a great big house right now. They're tired of the yard work, tired of having to deal with the maintenance on a property. So move-down buyer would be somebody that maybe sells a more expensive house, a larger home, and then moves down into something smaller house or another condominium, something like that.
And so it really is kind of this concept of shrinking, moving down. I guess it doesn't have to necessarily be in price, but maybe it's just shrinking your living area.
Yeah, and it could be that. It could be just shrinking the living area. It could be shrinking the price. Again, just some people that are looking towards retirement are looking for one-level living instead of the 2 or 3 bedroom or 2 or 3 story homes that that we were building back in the day. Areas are moving into maybe a little closer to town, closer to amenities, gas and groceries and that sort of thing.
So, it's a lifestyle change a lot of these people are going through. Their vision for what they want out of their home is different.
Yes, exactly. That's what I'm seeing with the move-down buyers. It really is pretty much all about lifestyle for them.
And what are some of what are some of the big lifestyle changes that go on to really, I guess, catapult somebody into this move-down buyer situation?
Well, anytime that you're in a 3,500 square foot house and all of a sudden you realize that you only need 1,000 square feet, that's a big change for people. There's
kids are gone.
Kids are
dog
gone.
dies.
Yeah, kids are not coming back, which is sometimes something.
You can prevent them. Yeah,
keeping them from coming back, right?
That's right.
Like, your kid won't fit in this house. Done.
Yeah,
sold.
That's right. That's right.
So smaller home, one level living. I guess a lot of people maybe go to condos for a little bit less maintenance.
That's right. Yeah, something where you can just move in. All you have to worry about is the outside. That's why you pay your homeowners dues, so somebody else can worry about all the rest of that.
And that is, it must feel like a little bit off your shoulders, some weight off your shoulders when you get into you get into that less maintenance type of house, and all of a sudden you're thinking, hey, we're going to be okay, and you get rid of all your stuff.
I can think of at least an hour or two a week where you don't have to mow the lawn. You know, that's the great part about living in something like a condominium.
Yeah. And then you also said proximity. I mean, so do you see a lot of move down buyers moving into more city areas? I mean, just more urban areas?
A lot of the family homes that were built in the outlying areas. There's not a lot of space right in city for big family homes. And so, yeah, there's a lot of, some of the outlying areas have the big homes. And once you're done with that chapter in your life and you're ready to move on, ready to move into retirement, getting to a place where there's a little more restaurants around, a little more activities around.
Because I'm sure, as Kim would say, with retirement, you actually end up spending a lot more money maybe than you did because you have free time. And when you're not out making money, you're probably out spending it.
Instead of a one acre piece of grass that you have your chaise lounge on, you're on a deck.
Yeah.
Yeah, with your Corona.
Yeah, done.
I'm sure the proximity thing, too, proximity might mean moving closer to your family or where your friends are going to be and where you think you want to be for the next 10 years, moving cities. It might not just be in city.
You bet.
We're here with Shawn Perry with Windermere Real Estate North. What do you see as some of the biggest advantages to being a move-down buyer?
A couple of different advantages for people. It's actually great. We have Kim in the house here tonight as well.
He's in the house.
In the house. One thing, let's say you have a $800,000 house and you're making a mortgage payment on that. Big difference between a mortgage payment on an $800,000 house or a $300,000 condo. And so that's where a guy like Kim would be able to come in and show you how to use that to your advantage and maybe investing in your retirement. That sort of thing.
It seems like that would make a big difference because now you've eliminated, maybe you've sold your big house and you paid cash and eliminated your mortgage payment altogether. And now you can do the things that most people want to do in retirement, travel or go to restaurants or visit your kids or have your grandkids, whatever it may be. And you've minimized your costs.
That's another advantage of the move down is, a large home that maybe you've been in for 15 years with the kids. You could have a significant amount of equity in that. And selling that house and then moving into something small, you could either cash it out or, again, just kind of reduce your payment, but you free up that equity, can decide what's the best route for you to use that in.
So I think it does come down a lot to lifestyle. Mm-hmm. I mean, it may not be affordability. A lot of people are still working when their kids go off to college or graduate college or whatever whenever people choose to do this. And so, it's the ability to want to do different things. It's kind of, I think, again, I go back to what Kim said. It's, people are entering this new part of their life and they want to do different things, and mowing the lawn and heating a 3,500 square foot house on the plateau with no kids running around is a lot to do.
If you want to change your lifestyle, it's a lot easier to use the $250,000 in the bank than it is to use it when it's tied up in the equity of your house.
Which would make it almost impossible to use.
Almost impossible.
So, I mean, does it make a lot of financial sense right now? I mean, do you see the house prices at a point where people are able to do this?
I think it does make sense in some areas. It's going to be a case-by-case basis depending on where the house is that you want to sell and where the house is that you want to buy or the condo is that you want to buy. I did a little research then in the Ballard area right now. Homes between 600,000 and $1 million they're down quarter over quarter from last year. They're down almost 3%, and yet condos from 300,000 to 500,000 are down almost 5%.
Now you said this is price per square foot, though.
Price per square foot. Yeah, so this is again just averages, right? Mm-hmm. And it is going to depend on what condo you buy, what house you have to sell.
So what does that mean for what Seattle Times is saying? Everything's all rosy.
Well, that just means these are actually a lot better numbers than we saw in 2011. So things are getting pretty rosy.
I got it. Yeah, I guess that is true. So then you have this Ballard area, which is definitely an up and coming area.
I think it's here. I don't even know if it's up and coming anymore. I think Ballard's like where a lot of people want to be right now.
Ballard's getting really hot. Yeah. Ballard and Fremont. Fremont's been hot since before the market crash.
Yeah.
Fremont was hot, but yeah, Ballard's really, really starting to cook. And even areas like Snohomish County. I mean, and when you get to the outlying areas, something that's not in the Seattle, Bellevue metro area, then that spread starts to be quite significant. I did in Snohomish County in general, you're looking at about an 8% difference in those housing prices. So in other words, what you're doing is you're selling a house that has depreciated less than the house that you're buying. So that's where the spread of the how it might make some financial sense to do that can come in.
And you get into something that is more, you have a better appetite for too. I mean, I think that, and we've talked about this a lot, so many people are focused on the good deal. I want a good deal. I want to get the right deal. But a lot of times the right deal doesn't have to do with the house price. It has to do with how you want to live your life and with the things you want to accomplish and how the lifestyle you want to live is. And if you can go to the restaurants, it might be a good deal for you because you get to experience the life experiences that you want.
Cannot forget that there's an intrinsic value in owning a home. And I liked what you talked about last hour with Lynn about the difference of $5,000 or $10,000 over the next 30 years. That's really awfully negligible and something that you need to be able to see the forest through the trees.
Yeah, I agree. What about talking to a financial planner? Kim's here. We can hit on it a little bit more, but it doesn't seem to me that it does seem to me that coming from the mortgage side, we tend to be the liaison between real estate and finance. Mm-hmm. But we feel like we are. And most clients really, so many of these decisions are made in a silo. People will buy a house, they'll get a mortgage, they'll do their financial plan, or insurance, and they don't realize these things are so interconnected. It's amazing when we refinance houses, how few financial planners we talk to. They just kind of handle it on their own, which is always an interesting concept. But, how do you help people understand maybe that financial impact, or do you work with them and their financial planners to help them make those decisions?
I think the value of financial planning and financial planners is often underrated. That's what I like about the show, being able to come on here and you get kind of a full gamut of all the different areas, insurance last hour, all the different areas that you really need to be thinking about as far as planning out your financial life. So yeah, I mean, with a move down, maybe you're freeing up $1,000 a month, and then you can talk to Kim about the best way to invest that. Evidently we can go $17,000 a year in just the 401k, not to mention the Roth IRAs and all the
start
rest
a business,
of
put $50,000 in,
exactly.
Right?
Or talk to him about what to do with the $200,000 in equity that you just got out of the house after you sold it after 15 years.
It starts to just provide options.
That's right.
I appreciate what you said about the show and all the different people who come on, and I think one of the best parts about having so many different people come on is the amount of options that it opens up people's eyes to, mm-hmm. because everybody's going about their life. Everybody's busy. I mean, I don't know anybody who's like, man, I just got time to kill. I'm just going through life. I got nothing to do. And sometimes I think whether it's mortgage or real estate or financial planning, we ask people to take time out of their day, and they would do, if they would do anything to, maybe save some money. But when they have to go through the process of the paperwork or the plan or being patient, like in buying a house, sometimes it's like, I don't have time to do all that. It's everybody wants this instant gratification, and it's not always how it works.
We live in a world of do-it-yourself as well, and that's one of the best pieces of advice I ever got was to pay people for what they're good at, and so you can use that in any aspect. Must have been my grandpa.
Yeah, because we're like the anti-do-it-yourself show, right? Yeah. We're like I think people are nuts who try to do all this stuff, but I'm so sorry, I just do.
There's a reason why you do the mortgages. There's a reason why I do the real estate and Kim with the financial planning. It's because that's our area of expertise, and people cannot be expected to learn all of that. None of us can be. I'm not expected to be able to work on my vehicle or anything like that, or do any repairs around my house, significant repairs around my house. So that's you pay people for what they do.
Yeah, and ultimately it should actually save you money in the long run, and help you get to those goals.
That's exactly right.
Shawn, thanks so much for joining us. Really do appreciate you coming in. Again, Shawn Perry with Windermere. When we come back, we're going to talk a little bit more about syncing with professionals and understanding how that can work best for you. We'll be right back after this break. You're listening to Brashenomics.